Hello viewers, Super GT here, welcome back. Thank you for joining me. So more adventures in the BMW M8 Mate Big Boy thing from last week's update around Bernese Alps. This is one of my favourite configurations of this circuit actually. It's a cool little track there, it's 15 laps. And this race was one of my better ones in a long time. So let's see exactly how this one pans out. We started around about the top 10, and of course the BMW M8, as that Jaguar, I don't know what's going on there, a bit of lag I think, as we actually made contact. He seemed to go flying into the wall, and then thought actually now I don't really want to be crashing right now, and he kind of just appeared away from the wall, and he actually wiped out the Porsche there, unceremoniously, bundles in wide. I'm going to gain a couple of positions out behind GTR like a sod. So we worked out in the last video, I drove this car, and it seems to be a very, very competent all-rounder. Very, very good for handling, and this track is pretty much a handling circuit. I mean, it's fairly high speed handling, but handling nonetheless. And they're tuned by JSR Craviator. As we almost go into the back of these two guys, the Dane in the Audi, going to get the cut back on him on the way out of the final turn. So that's one lap done. Quite a short lap here. 80 seconds there for the first lap. And going into turn one, lots of very long sweeping corners here at the Bernese Alps. And we're just going to run and edge the Porsche out wide to claim 6th. So good progress so far. We're just trying to monitor the gap to the leader. 1,000 feet at this point here. 1,000 feet is what we're looking at. We need to try and gain that, but we have another 4 people in between myself and the leader, and then of course all the back markers. So coming around here a little bit wide. This is the sort of the infield section, if you like. I really like this little section here. It flows very nicely, and I do think this is the better configuration of Bernese Alps, the one where you go down the hill through the tunnel and all that nonsense over the jump. That's not quite as good. I mean, it can be good, but I think this is the best of the lot. We're going to go side by side with Lucky Sod. There's contact as we go into the final turn. I think he's kind of sent himself and wrecked himself. But we are going to go up into 5th. Is it going to be 4th past the Norwegian? Yes, it is. The Aston Martin, not that great in a straight line. Very good handling car though, so he may well come back at me. My line into turn 1, going really fast, going deep on the brakes and cut back for that later apex, or you almost apex twice through that first corner in typical Forza fashion, letting the car kind of coast mid-turn to get that rotation and then powering your way out. So coming through the long left, oh, that's a sign of a cut. Ban Super GT, unsubscribe, all that nonsense, because he cut a corner once. Haven't we all done it? Maybe not. Maybe I am just an awful player who needs to learn a lesson. Right, coming up behind Noob Supremo, you may remember the name, because he was in our 1,000 laps of Long Beach endurance race, and he was absolutely smashing me. He was beating me by a long way, until he actually just slowed down and let me win. So up behind him now in the Porsche. So the Porsche 911, a staple of this hopper, and I'm just going to send it and say goodbye. I'm going to try for the move on the way out. It's not quite going to happen. We're up into a podium position, up behind 2 FRF members, so plenty of Brazilians here. So we've just gone past one, and we've got 2 more ahead of us. Can the plucky Brit get past all of the South Americans here in, is it Switzerland? Yes, it's in Switzerland. But, right, okay, where are we now? Lap 7. So you can see I've just began to catch up with FRF Tiago. The gap to the leader, about 500 feet. That back marker getting nicely out of the way, no time loss at all. And at this point here, the Lucky Sod is behind us, 1,000 feet. And that really is quite a big margin at this point. So the main focus is going forwards. And we've done exactly that. Over the last couple of laps, just edged towards Tiago. A couple of attempts per lap. And at this point here, maybe about a second behind. So we're definitely getting closer. We're making progress, and we're making progress on the leader. Remember, around about lap 1, or on lap 1, the gap was 1,000 feet to the leader. At this point here, 700. Although we do need to ideally measure that at the same point of the track, because the way that the distance thing works, it just changes so much based on exactly where you are on the track. So it was about this point here where I said it was about 1,000 feet, and this point is 600. So we've narrowed that down by 40%. So we are gaining. In fact, we can actually see him on the screen. So Taaha's obviously right in front of me there, and then just down at the bottom of the screen, or down the bottom of this hill, going around the turn, that is the leader. So all top 3 are on the screen. All of our pixels are together somewhat. So let's try maybe get past Taaha. We of course don't want to lose too much time. It's very easy to get caught up in a battle with someone as you're trying to go past them, and then they try and fight back, and then you fight them back, and then you lose like 3 seconds, and then, well, in a race where it's very close, 3 seconds, I mean, you've just committed die basically, and that's the end of your race. So Taaha a little bit wide, and I'm just looking ahead to the leader. He's making more mistakes. In fact, at this point here, 300 feet, definitely we're both gaining at this point. I'm quite happy to sit behind for some time at least, and just gain together rather than fight too much. And then once you get up to them, then that's the time to strike. I think the main thing, really, main consideration, if you're going to catch a leader with someone else, you want to be the first person to overtake that leader. So I do want to get past Taaha first, and then go past the leader before Taaha gets past, because then I might get stuck behind him. So these are just little things you have to think about. If all else fails, just absolutely send it at the earliest opportunity and hope for the best. It's not just full out attack. Normally can't go wrong with that. And sometimes thinking too much can actually be not the ideal situation to be in. So Taaha now, I think, coming under pressure as I'm right on him, glued to this bumper. And in fact, on this lap, I'd say maybe even the leader's actually pulled away slightly, which is obviously not a good sign. But I think mainly down to Taaha just making a couple of mistakes, and I'm obviously behind him, so I can't really do much about it apart from just go past him. Around the outside, look at the grip on this BMW. Absolutely scintillating stuff. So much downforce. It is ridiculous. That is a big wing though, to be fair. So the big boy up into second. There's a back marker now. In fact, looking at the map, there's quite a few back markers coming up in just a moment. So okay, this race is very much hanging in the balance here. Lap 10, we're getting through it. We're near enough 2/3 of the way done. We will be at the end of this lap. So coming around the left-hander over the crest is this back marker, Jensen the Fox. Are we going to lose too much time here? Hopefully not. Kind of send it up the inside. He's going to drive quite wide and take a nice tighter line on the way out, and just hope that he sees me. I think he has. And just sweep around the outside. I haven't lost too much time there. That's good news. And, obviously didn't get taken out. That's the worst case scenario, which has happened in many times, but today I'm the lucky one. So Taaha's sticking with me in Mercedes. You don't often see that car being used here, or at all in this hopper. But he's doing quite a good job. And WDJ117, unusual name. I've not actually seen that player before, and I actually made a mistake. The car just slid a little bit. The entrance to that corner is quite awkward. I'm going to try around the outside, and it just wasn't a good place to go for that move. I saw the space, went for it, and in hindsight, it wasn't the best place to do it, and I kind of got grinded up against the wall, and lost a fair chunk of performance and time and speed. And you see that gap just opens back up again. A bit of respite there for the leader, as the guy in second and third, we're fighting, and this is what I was saying earlier, you don't want to fight too much and let the other guy off the hook. So he's going to be able to just breathe a little bit and breathe a sigh of relief as we fight a little bit too much. He's actually hit the barrier there on the exit of the turn, and I'm going to retake this second. Now, just looking at all these cars here, just looking at the map, I'm in second. Only one of those cars ahead is the leader, obviously. So the rest are all back markers. I'm not going to lose too much time here behind all these back markers, so I'm going to go into the pit lane. I think it's the best time to serve your pit stop. If you're in clear air, stay out. But if you're about to come up to a load of traffic, which could slow you down, then take your pit stop, unless you're going to come out in more traffic. As we come out, let's see exactly how much traffic we are in now. Well, in fact, it's pretty much no traffic. So in front of me on the map, there's no one for a good maybe third of a lap. That's good news. So I'm not going to lose any time here. Tiago's just dropped off by 500 feet. So he was actually quite close behind me, but then he's just made a massive mistake. And there's the thing we need to see. So the leader has gone into the pit lane. We are going to see in just a moment, am I going to be able to reclaim that lead? Or I'm not going to reclaim it because I haven't actually had it yet. Am I going to be able to claim it? As we come around the final turn, down the hill towards the main straight, I can see on the map he's just coming out of the pit lane now. Where is he? There he is. Okay, so very close indeed. Within maybe a second or two, and I think I've gained. I've certainly gained. He's sliding his way through that turn. He could not quite keep the back end in check. Going to lose a vital couple of tenths, as now the pressure is very much on. So I think he definitely lost some time to those back markers. He must have lost maybe a second or two, as I was probably, I don't know, maybe 3 seconds off of him, or 2, or 2.5, I don't know. But definitely gained. We are definitely in with a shout here of going for the race victory. Let's see if we can do it. And even if we finish second, it would have been a very nice race up to this point. WDJ here seems a little bit off. You know, I was gaining a couple of tenths per lap, not much, but it is enough. And I'm just going to grind the barrier on the way out. Plenty of grinding going on today as we sweep through the S's into the final turn over the crest. It can get awkward, as we've mentioned. Looped up the inside, and it's going to compromise my exit here. He's also in the BMW, and we've both hit the barrier on the way out. Plenty more grinding between us. So he's also in the same car, the M8 Mates. So we're coming to turn 1, and you can see here just how much I gain on the brakes. Go in deep, let the car rotate, and then come back for a slightly straighter exit. And you don't have to worry so much about the car spinning too much on the way out of the turn by taking that kind of line. Okay, so the battle is firmly on. We are firmly engaged in battle as we sweep left over the crest. Can be a difficult corner as the car kind of goes light as you go over that crest. Wants to oversteer. We're flying in on the brakes. Lovely corner that. Great braking zone. In fact, this is a really good frictional circuit. Really, really like this one. Really enjoy it. And then into sort of the medium speed or slow to medium speed corners here. This one's quite open actually. You take quite a lot of speed through there. And then we're going to go left onto the back straight. And it's gone a little bit wide. I'm going to prefer to take a nice tighter line with a straighter exit. And you can see I've got the run here. I've got the momentum through the S's. It's only really one way through there. And is there going to be a potential to pass? I made the mistake last time of going for the move and then compromising my exit. This time I'm going to take the line as normal and then try to attack him into turn 1. You can see I've got the momentum, I've got the slipstream, I've got the power up the inside, and I've got the braking potential up into the lead. Slight bit of contact, but we're through into first place with less than a lap to go. We're on the final lap now, 15 of 15. Can I keep this for one more minute, not bottle it, and claim a fine victory, which would be very, very good indeed? Or will I just let him back in by making a mistake? Hint of oversteer as we go over that crest, down the hill, round the left-hander. Beautiful flowing circuit this, in and amongst the Alps in southern Europe here. So we sweep right, we see sweep left, and going through this one, we're going to get a nice good exit here. At the end of that curve, that's kind of your acceleration point and apex. And we get through there fine. In fact, we've gapped him 200 feet nearly, so I can afford to kind of not lift off too much, but be nice and careful for this final turn. I've got a bit of a margin to play with. It's not right on my tail. The pressure isn't right on. And we're going to take it nicely. Don't need to go too wide on the exit. And we've got the job done. Scintillating race that. Really enjoyed it. Crossed the line to finish first. Great stuff. There's the results. And in fact, the fastest lap there, yes, half a second faster, 4 steps quicker than Tiago. So I just had the slight edge around that circuit. But things weren't always so cosy. Things weren't always so good, you know. Sometimes you have to play 5, 6, 7, 8 races before you get a really good one. And here's some highlights, or lowlights if you like, from earlier in the day. So, you know, surviving the start here at Lime Rock. Good start actually. And then up the inside, we're running the chicane here. Nice pass a little bit of contact, but got the job done, up into the lead. And you know that feeling, you know, you're up in the lead, everything's comfortable, and in fact maybe a little bit too comfortable, because we go flying into the wall. Yeah, didn't go well. But I'm going to try again here at Lime Rock. Lime Rock seemed to come up like every other race for some weird reason. And then you just like, you never play Laguna Seca. I don't think I've ever played Laguna Seca in an actual online hopper. Maybe once. But other than that, it seems to never come up. But then of course Lime Rock and VIR come up a million times. So surviving this start up until this point there, where I've just hit the barrier. Yeah, it gets very awkward there. Pinch point through that chicane. And then, well, things didn't really improve in the next one, because you can see here evidence of me getting sent to the Shadow Realm. And it was a dark, mysterious time. But I returned just in time to get to Suzuka for this one, into the chicane, and oh god, the guy just bounced off the barrier. And, well, I just didn't spot him in time and crashed into him, got damaged. Luckily the pit lane's not too far away. And, well, I mean, I was stuck to one side of the track. Not really much I can do apart from go off the track, I suppose. And then we receive a courtesy punt from the rear end, although, you know, not much I could have done really. Eventually, we recovered, yeah, that's right, we recovered into 6th place, would you believe it? Okay, final race of the video, Sonoma, or Infineon Raceway as I like to remember it by, RIP in peace, Infineon Raceway. Okay, let's see what we can do then. Starting towards the tail end of the pack, 15th here as we go into the first turn, plenty of carnage, and that Porsche and BMW getting to know each other quite well. We've got 3 up into 11th, you know, tidy 4 or 5 positions gained already. Always good to bear to avoid the carnage. Just trying to pick our way through past the Audi a little bit wide, and down the hill to the right, around the outside of this BMW. Lots of people going for the M8. We're all M8 mates, I suppose you could say. So 10th at this point, over the crest into the long looping left-hander down the hill, and then you just go over a little crest there, just as you meet that curb, and at that point you can definitely be on the accelerator. So make sure you get the good run onto this straight, into a very good overtaking opportunity here at the hairpin, which the Corvette has taken an invitation for, and he went for it, but didn't quite put it off. Past this BMW, Papa Fat Rolls, what a name. As we go through, a bit of contact. Got the job done though, up into 8th. Solid first lap. Following through the prod driver. And not really a place to overtake here. One line through this turn, through this sequence. And then of course into the final hairpin. Well, you're going to have to explain this one to me guys, because this Aston Martin crashes into the wall and then performs the weirdest block I've ever seen. Gets involved with the BMW and then somehow forces his way through. Obviously lag involved, but I prefer to think that he was some sort of demon from the realm. I don't know. It was weird, and it was mildly entertaining at the same time. Over the line we go. That's the end of lap 1. Up the inside of the Corvette, goes a little bit wide. The space does often open up there. You could go a little bit wide for that first apex of the first turn, and it has done here. I've gone a little bit wide of the second apex, or the first apex of turn 2, if that makes sense. There's only one apex of turn 2. But we're through, up into 6th. Well, we can do better than that. This BMW is going to slide a little bit wide, as I did on the first lap, and we're up into 5th with a couple of seconds now to the guys ahead in 2nd, 3rd and 4th. We did catch them up by lap 3, only took 1 lap. I suppose they were fighting, you see that right in front of us. So actually the Z4 there in 2nd, and the FRF guy here, so we saw this guy, he was the guy we battled at Bernie's Alps. Not really much in the way of fighting there. He must have got the Valtteri message from James, let us through, and hopefully FLA Jams here also gets the Valtteri message from James. After all, we are all on the same team effectively, up against the Z4. Coming down here again, single file through here, not much in the way of overtaking. I play football with myself with that cone. The BMW going to slide across. Lucky to not get damaged there. That could have easily given me damage. We just avoid it. I kind of saw it coming. Normally cars don't spin across the entire circuit like that, so I was a little bit surprised. But we do get up into 3rd with 2nd on here as we go over the line. That's a quarter of the race done. We've gone through turn 1. The space isn't opening up. We do make a bit of contact, but we're not going to overtake him here as a courtesy. And we are under pressure from behind, so the FRF driver too far behind, and we do have to think about that as well. So lots of people going wide there on that turn, so we're going to make the most of it as we receive a nice punt that actually propelled us further into that turn. And we can pull away now. So HCCR carts in the lead, 600 feet ahead, so we're going to have to try to reel that gap in. So it's taken about 5 minutes to do the first 3 laps, so we're looking at a further 15 minutes for this race. So you can kind of plan how long you have. So I'd say that gap is about, well, let's measure it, maybe 3 or 4 seconds to the leader. As we make a bit of contact, that guy just kind of has to back out there in that situation. Otherwise we're just going to both go straight on. He's actually going to get the cut back on me. Am I going to be able to get ahead? Yes, I am. So I've got about 15 minutes to reel in about maybe 4 or 5 seconds. I don't know, maybe 3 to 5 seconds, let's say. So I just need to reel in maybe half a second lap, which is actually quite a lot. And you're kind of hoping that he gets involved with the back market. Well, you're not, but it's happened. It has happened. Our Aston Martin friend here, who did some weird demonic shuffling earlier and blocking, has actually come to my rescue. Although you don't really want to see that, as he kind of just, I don't know what the hell he's doing. I just don't know. As I actually get through. So that gap to carts has come right down, and yeah, down to about 300 feet. At this point here, lap 8, right behind him. Could go for the pit. Could go for that pit, but we're gonna stay out. Going to try to follow him round. Well, by follow him round I mean try to overtake him, because obviously that's the idea of racing. And we're actually coming up behind now last place. There's only 12 people left. And he's gone really wide. Lots of mistakes being made here. So I'm up into the lead, and remember, let's not forget, I started 16th, and I'm going to make a mistake now. Is he going to come back at me? Yes, he is. Going to fight it around the outside. The back marker in the way. Going to have to try to go around his outside. It's not going to make it easy for us. I've actually turned in a little bit early there, but I am going to get the momentum on the way out to get past. And let's see if Cart's can actually find his way through as well. I think he probably would have done. He's going to follow me through a little bit wide. Lots of mistakes here. Everyone's making mistakes. Well, I have done a fairly decent job so far. Nothing major, as we've gone from 16th to 1st. Although now still under pressure. This is the 11th lap, and we haven't taken a pit stop. Neither has Cart, so we both have to go in here. And on the way in, look, his cart kind of goes inside me, or his cart. So he spends some time inside me, which I wasn't all that happy about. And on the way out I thought, oh god, he's going to get the move done here. You can see it there, he's actually inside me again. But then the pit stop, you know, justice was served. I come out in front after going in front, which is how it should have been. But you know, there have been times when I've been overtaken in the pit lane, and I've overtaken other people in the pit lane, which is just a total miscarriage of justice. You know, obviously there are worse examples of things in real life where people, innocent people have been murdered on death row. But I would argue that being overtaken in the pits on Forza is probably a worse miscarriage of justice. It's debatable, you know, it's quite a close one, I'd say. But luckily this time it didn't happen. As we come down the infield loop and towards the hairpin, so the really long corner this one. I'm just trying to spot our braking point, which I don't even know what it is. A little bit wide, and come back for that late apex. So 2 apexes in that turn, such a long corner. And we're going to pull away. Lap 12. So of course the final lap here. Can we go about getting that second victory in this hopper? This car, really enjoying the car, and I really hope that they add more of these kind of cars. You know, it'd be great to have the new Aston Martin GT3, the 488. There's plenty of GT cars that I'd love to see, some of the newer generation ones. You know, always good to see the race cars being added. And coming out of the final turn, or is this the final turn? I suppose this is the final turn. Hopefully the final turn. We're going to cross the line to claim another first position after another enjoyable race. There's the results, and in fact, actually, Cars was marginally faster, just much less consistent, with a few more mistakes, and of course, getting wiped out by the back marker. But that is the nature of Forza, and that is the video complete. Thank you so much for joining me. I do hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts, and just a massive thank you for the support. As always, really means a lot just to have all the all of the viewers tuning in with all the comments, and and everyone tuning into the live streams too. But that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching as always. I shall see you next time. Goodbye.